is liberation. And of course, it's on the surge. The algorithm are trying to topple us. The shadow banning our content and the gatekeeper of this narrative are doing every single thing they can to take us down. But guess what? We are still here and we are not going anywhere. I'm only 23 years old. I'm just getting started. And if you stand with us, this is your moment to strike back. Every pound that you've donated is a bullet in the chamber of truth. And every patron that you've pledged is a shield against this censorship. And every supporter, every subscriber is a soldier in this war of this information. And of course, we are building a channel that exposes and shakes the institution. We are rallying community to refuse to be gaslit. We are exposing predators. We are exposing cover-up. We are exposing the corruption. And they hate us for that. Of course, we're not funded by billionaires. We're being funded by you since the beginning. And if you want this voice to stay on air, if you want this resistance to grow louder, stronger, and unstoppable, this is your time to act. Don't wait until I'm gone. Don't wait until the live stream gets cut mid-sentence. Click the link in the description. Become the resistant. Become a sustaining member of the Baraka Show. Fund the war. Fund this enigma machine that we're building, that will counter narrative, destroy the bias, and expose the real nuggets to you live and direct. Because if we fall, they win. And I promised you I won't let that happen. But trust me guys, they're getting very, very close. They are getting so close. And of course, this is not charity. This is a warfare for information. This is survival. This is victory. And I need you to fund this war. Join the resistance, fuel the fight, and keep us on air. Click the first link in the description. Thank you so much.
And the show host, Baraka Amuri.
Patriot, truth seekers, digital warriors, welcome back to the show once again. This is the Baraka Show. This is your frontline of information war. And today, I am with a huge guest. I don't know how to introduce this guy to you guys. This guy is everything and everything. He's a business owner, he's a reporter, he's a pundit, and he's out there sending signals. His father's been attacked, he's been attacked, his whole family has been attacked, his place that he grew up in has been attacked, and today he might even get to see that place being taken away from his parents and himself. It's only right to bring an individual like himself here to explain to us how that feels, to tell us how he sees the world in his view. Not from his dad's side, but from himself. As I mentioned, he's a business owner, he's an entrepreneur. So he's not just a guy who's sitting there waiting to inherit the throne, but no, he's building. And he's out there making noise along the way as well. And my guest is the one and only Rex Jones. Rex, how you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal. Thanks for having me back on, Baraka. You know, we had a first lost episode there that may never actually get released because of some system and audio and computer issues. But we had a 2-hour conversation, man. I'm looking forward to having another one with you here live this time.
Yeah, this time we have to do it live because, as you mentioned, we did it before, 2 hours. I think it was 2 hours and 20 minutes, full on reporting, proper podcast, heavy stuff.
It was a good show. It's a shame. It's a shame.
All that disappeared. So there's a lot of things to unpack here. I believe it's early morning to you guys. You guys are probably you're waiting for somebody to knock on. The world is waiting to witness what will happen to INFOWAR.
That's right.
I want to cover that.
In about 2 hours, when my father, Alex Jones, goes live on INFOWAR, the Alex Jones Network, and syndicated to hundreds of different radio stations around the country, we're going to know the truth about whether or not we're getting shut down today or tomorrow or next week. But it will be, sadly, probably within the month. You know, I've heard people at the office very optimistic about it, saying, hey, we may be here till Thanksgiving. We don't know what's going to go on. But look, they did this to us once before. In November of 2024, they came in with an order to shut down the place. They cut our internet. They posted their graphics on our website, kind of like a trophy taking type of thing. It was very sick. I mean, Harrison was literally live streaming in the morning and the feed just went black. That's what they did. Now, they did that illegally. They weren't allowed to do it. So the judge issued an order of stay on the case, which is now removed. So unfortunately, the state court receiver will be back in the office today, and he will be really there to dictate whether we're going to be open another day, another week, another month. And I'm on the side of hoping for at least another couple of good weeks with InfoWars. But the way things are going, we're going to receive our deadline today. It's kind of like InfoWars, I compare it a lot since the bankruptcy, since the court stuff, since the lawfare against us. It's like a person on life support. It's a person in a coma. It can't live without, outside intervention. And they've got their hands on the purse strings. We can't send reporters out. We can't do the typical shows and broadcasts abroad like we're used to doing. We can't do that on the ground coverage, and everything's basically restricted to the studio. So once we're free, and once this whole thing eventually, sadly, probably kind of dies and goes away, you're really going to see Alex have a resurgence with the Alex Jones Network. And I think that's what we're gearing up to do. But it all hinges on today, and we'll know here in a couple hours live what happens and what the fate of InfoWars is.
Yeah. So to the people who are sitting at home, who was watching the InfoWars, Alex Jones and all the people, the people were sitting there and be like, you are just trying to raise money, dude. Stop talking. Nobody's going to show you. Nobody's going to turn up. And Alex Jones was more of like, as compared to a Boy Who Cried Wolf. And he's, because he kept on calling. He's like, next week it might happen. Next week it might happen. Next week, next Wednesday, next this. So are we getting to see so basically this is like, there's no going back. Are you telling me that InfoWars is done?
That's where we're at. So, I mean, they've spent $130 million suing him. He spent around 18, 20 defending himself. That's where the money has been going to, right? It's been going to fight these legal battles, fight these court battles. And ultimately, the span of time, everyone says, oh, it's a boy who cried wolf. When is this ever going to happen? Just fundraising off of it. It's not true. The only reason why the doors have still been open is because of the support of the listeners. And it's really heroic on people's part and on Alex's part to stay on and do the show, even under the constraints that he's under. I mean, it has not been fun for him to have to deal with a company, deal with a show that used to be his. He used to be sole proprietor, owner, owned 100% of everything, made all the decisions. Now that it's in bankruptcy, when you're in bankruptcy, they appoint someone to hold the purse strings and to decide what money gets spent on what. So they've got like old 10-year-old equipment that they were going to replace that they haven't been able to replace for like 3-4 years. They've got, people that have left the operation because of uncertainty. They don't know what's going to happen or not. So we're dealing with a reduced crew, and we're dealing with really reduced quality of equipment and funds that are available to actually run the operation, because everything ultimately goes into the court bills. Now, what happened was, when this initially hit bankruptcy, they did an auction, right? That's what the judge wanted. He said, hey, I want an open auction, the highest bidder, whoever pays the most money, because ultimately it's about getting the families the most amount of judgment that they deserve, right? It's about getting them the most bang for their buck financially out of what's been done to us, right? So they try to sell the thing. We have people come in that are friendly to us that bid over $8 million. They don't give it to them. The bankruptcy trustee, not the judge, he holds a closed auction. That 8 point whatever it was $1 million bid goes through, and then the other people, the people that own the onion, that want to kind of wear our skin and use it as a propaganda and like a parody tool to make fun of us forever, to pollute Alex's digital image into the future, into infinity, they bid around $1 million, but they promised the future earnings of the company up to $10 million as part of their bid. Now, that's illegal, and it's wrong, because the valuation of the company is based off of Alex working there. He's the revenue generator. So you can't do that. It actually violates the 13th Amendment against slavery. So we've got Supreme Court cases pending. We've got a hearing coming up. We've got multiple countersuits against these people. But ultimately, the trustee, he approved the fraudulent deal with the fake money, and the judge saw that and said, hey, you can't do that, and he suspended the sale. So we've been living in the era of the suspended sale for really almost a year now, but the judge, kind of like Pontius Pilate, has washed his hands of it, and it's gone back to the state court. And the way it works here in the States, the way it works here in America, is you kind of have radically different courts and radically different, political affiliations based on the county that you live in, right? And in America, the big cities, areas like Austin, Travis County, they're incredibly liberal and left-wing. So we've got a very left-wing local judge who really has made it her mission to shut us down. and
Yeah.
it's back in her court now. So the person that is being sent today will be sent kind of at the behest or affiliation or association with her, and we're screwed, basically. That's what's going on today.
So there's no coming back, basically. For the people who are thinking, yeah, this is just Alex Jones trying to sell supplements. It's trying to make people buy, trying to increase their urgency. But no, this is actually him crying for help to stay
Wolf
on
is
air
here.
from the
The
operation.
wolf has always been there. He's been able to beat off the wolf because of the strength that he's been given by the listeners. And I made this point on a live stream I did recently. Other shows, they do the show so they can sell you the product. We sell you the product so we can do the show. So it's a very different relationship. So when you see Alex promoting himself and self-funding himself, and everyone sees him selling the supplements, we've been doing this since 2012, 2013 with the supplement sales, because Alex was a guy that sold T-shirts and sold books and sold documentaries literally for like 2-3 decades. But in 2011, 2012, he really wanted to build a media empire, and he realized, hey, the only way to do this self-funded without backers that you're beholden to, without big donors, is to build a product that's cheap, affordable, and super effective that everyone will just rebuy month after month. So that's why we went in the supplement direction. I mean, I'm super passionate about supplements.
Yeah,
we'll talk
I want to talk about that as well. Of course, this is affecting a lot of people. It's affecting the reporters, the producers, the people who are working at INFOWARs. They're all feeling something. Even the people who left because they wanted to find something where they can feel secure and hang on and not feel like they're going to lose their job. I'm sure they are still stressing the fact that they had to leave and the fact that this might be shut down. Now, you started reporting or making videos off with audio or maybe sometimes on air, you know, when you're really young.
Yes. So I used to actually appear first on audio because I would do talk back in the studio with Alex when I was around 8, 9 years old. I would like school him on the Bible and stuff. I was a very well-read little kid. I still am somewhat well-read today. But going into the future, around 10, 11 years old, I started doing videos with the Guy Fawkes mask on because my dad didn't want my face to be out there just yet. When I'm like 12, 13, 14, that's when I make my first on-air appearance, and it was really off to the races. And what really sucks is my entire body of work, everything I really did at INFOWARS, it was on our old YouTube channel, which, as you know, was deleted and deplatformed in 2018. So I had videos with over 500,000 views. You know, I had dozens and dozens of videos, films, reports, on the street interviews, you name it. And those were all kind of deleted. So the cool thing now is the way I see it, the kind of silver lining is I get to start from scratch and I get to kind of re-release a couple of those old videos that I have and put them out nowadays in the modern time.
Seeing the building, because you started doing this since you were young.
Right.
I'm sure seeing not just the video, because I'm sure the video you can always recreate, but the building if somebody deletes my video,
legendary. Let me do a little breakdown on that. Sorry to interrupt you. Let me do a little breakdown on that. So when we started off, INFOWARS had around 4,000 square feet, and that's where the old Alex Jones studio is. Those classic videos of him in the old like radio broadcast studio, that was a little portion of this building. Then around like 2013, 2014, we got the other half of that building, that 8,000 square feet, and we turned it into warehousing. Then a couple of years in the future, Alex is getting money coming in from the supplements. He's able to build the media empire. We turn that whole area into reporting studios. That's where we built the Trump era studio. And we get the other side of the building as well, another 8,000 square feet, and we use that as warehousing space. So then after that, Alex builds the giant studio he's currently in, which is referred to as Studio Joe, a great man, Joe Jennings, who unfortunately died in a motorcycle accident in the late 2010s. He designed that kind of Japanese game show studio that Alex works in now. And that was so huge for us. And just seeing that process and seeing that thing get built was so incredible. Eventually, we used even the other 8,000 square feet to hold reporters and administrative staff and supplement staff. And we moved out our warehousing to another building that we still own locally in Austin. And at its peak, you're talking about probably like 1,400 to 16, or not 1,400, talking about 14,000 to 16,000 square feet of total space, warehousing and production that we all had. So I've spent more time in the INFOWARS office than any home that I've ever lived in. And I have a very deep, very almost like, I would say actually spiritual attachment to that place. And it's been very sad to see a place that used to have 78 employees, used to have people running around, screaming with papers all the time. It was so crowded. It was so fun. Now be reduced to kind of like a ghost ship or like a Flying Dutchman type of thing, you know, We have maybe a third or a fourth of the original crew that we had, and the people that are there are just purely there for love of the game, just trying to keep this thing alive. It's very sad for me to see it go away, but at the same time, it's something that I feel needs to happen so that we can rise again like a phoenix and do even better.
Yeah, so you believe the AJ Live, the Alex Jones Live network.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Alex Jones Network. You believe that will be bigger than INFOWARS?
Oh, yeah, I really do. You know, it depends on how we play it. It depends on how much love is put into it. But I know Alex, and he's all about love, and this is the thing he cares the most about. He's planning on going live for around 18 hours a day, not just him.
I was thinking that is like a promotion, like, you know, I want to go live for 18 hours a day. I want to do this. I want to have reporters around the country. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe this guy is just promoting. Maybe it's just like an advert. But is he actually serious, wants to go live for 18 hours a day?
Serious. He's 110% serious. I mean, that's what it was all about. And what it really is just reconstituting what we had in like 2015 to 2018. We were already doing all that stuff. We were doing it great, perfectly, awesome budget, everything. You're talking about, it's so sad, right? Because other people, they have big company, big industry. They get a lot of funding from other people, and they never really have to worry about anything because they're not worried about getting sued. They don't have a real independent message that goes out. We were doing all of this, and they took it from us. They took it from us by suing us. They took it from us by deplatforming us first. They did everything possible to make us not successful, and we've still been so successful. And it's all thanks to the listeners because they recognize this really is the biggest independent media operation in the world.
Yeah, and they've done everything to keep it going, which is freaking sick.
Yes.
I have to say to you guys, because if somebody was to be pulled off, I mean, Facebook, which is like one of the largest platforms in the world, YouTube, which is again one of the largest platforms in the world.
Yeah, 2.2 billion
X,
YouTube views.
And all these platforms that are like the biggest platform till today. I mean, X, people think X is that big, but X has like, there's not even billions, it's not even 500,000 of people in X. But comparing it to YouTube, it's like a baby.
Right.
And that's the only platform you guys have been able to flourish a little bit.
X and Rumble. X and Rumble, and it's small, you know, comparatively to the big platforms, but it's big enough, and more people are adopting it because they want free and uncensored information. That's why they come to those platforms, right? I mean, you're talking about a time span of under 2 weeks where we were banned from everything. We were banned from everything. So what did we do? We built our own streaming platform, Band.video, in under 14 days. So there was zero interruption. There was no interruption at all. We were still on radio. We were still on Band.video. That's how fast you're able to react to things when you're doing it all yourself and you got a team of really skilled, talented individuals working with you. I mean, that's what it's all about. We have survived kind of like the cockroach in the nuclear bomb explosion. We've been there through it all. So getting an opportunity to actually exist on somewhat of a level playing field where we're at least able to hit some of that mainstream audience. I mean, I look at the Alex Jones feed on YouTube all the time, the INFOWARS feed. You're talking at night, you got like 500,000 viewers over that every single night. Combined on platforms. So
yeah,
it's beautiful for me to see the people are there. The people want the information. We're just not given an opportunity to compete. And, you know, that's what the free market, that's what capitalism is ultimately supposed to be about. But we live in this crony capitalist world where these lawyers, these bureaucrats, they run everything. And if they don't control you, they can't get money out of you, they shut you down. But we don't play that.
And the reason why I brought that up is because I want to give you guys credit for it, because I know we can pick any influencers right now. We can go through the MAGA team and we go who. And we can just pick and be like, all right, let him go through what Alex Jones has gone through. I don't think these guys will survive 6 months.
No, 6 weeks. You know, they would get discouraged. They would panic. They would quit. Ultimately, they would fail because even if it's them, even if it's a few people, they don't have the team that we have. They don't have the decades of experience that we have. They don't have the hundreds of thousands of hours of experience that all of our crew members have. I mean, like me at home building the home studio, I'm not really a tech guy. I'm not that good at it. I had the best AV people in the world to work with me from day one, purely from love of the game, because they understand the mission. They understand what it's about.
And that's the thing. So why do you think the MAGA team, I mean, they're all supporting Trump. I mean, what's happening to you? What's happening to INFOWARS right now could possibly happen to them too. How come they're not pulling their socks and be like, hey guys, let's actually spare an episode and just talk about what Alex Jones is going through. The injustice. They want to make him a slave and they want to do all this. Why is that happening? Because that could possibly happen to myself too. How come that is not happening in America? A lot of influencers are not coming together and raise the voice for Alex Jones.
Well, I mean, you raise an excellent point here, and let's go back in history a little bit. So famously, when we were banned off Twitter, now X, was the last platform that removed us, and they removed us a little while longer after everyone else did. They waited a little while. They were kind of making a decision there. Trump famously said after we were banned, didn't directly address us, but it was one of the biggest stories in the country, and it was trending on Twitter when he made the tweet, so I have to think it was addressed towards us. As long as I'm still on Twitter, it's okay. That's what he said. And of course, he was banned shortly afterwards, right? So this has all kind of happened before. And you'd think that the urgency would be there. You think the help and support would be there, considering everything that Alex did, especially during the first administration, to get Trump elected, to help him beat Hillary, which we really did, folks. Like that's just the damn truth. We got millions of people to vote for Donald Trump in the first election. If you look at what happened, you look at the environment now, post-COVID, the censorship atmosphere was so extreme during COVID and the pandemic and during that entire time period that there was kind of a natural reaction against it, which is why you saw Elon buy X, which is why you saw Rumble kind of really grow. And we kind of just came in organically off of that, and we used that new free environment to kind of get back out there. But at the same time, nothing has really been done ever to officially help us. And this case is really black and white, guys. They screwed us. They had a fake valuation for my father. They said my dad was worth $270 million. He's never had more than like $8 to $10 million personally, like combined assets and everything. And that's everything he sold off. He's only able to own the house that he lives in now and a car. He'll never be able to own anything again. He's got a $2.2 billion non-dischargeable debt over his head that he can never get rid of. And we were getting some signaling. My dad talked to Ed Martin, the associate deputy attorney general guy, but he's underneath some people, and it looks like the deputy AG, I'm blanking on his name now, it looks like he put the kibosh on everything and kind of shut down that investigation, that operation. And you'd think that we would get some help from these people, guys. Like, you'd think that after everything we've done and really what we stand for, being free speech and independent media, that we would get some support from the current administration. But it's very sad. You see these establishment GOP types, these really APAC affiliated people. They get all the support in the world for us.
Because you see people like oh God, you see people like Laura Loomer and stuff getting the pictures, getting the emails, and you see people be invited, receiving binders. Ooh, I got the binders. Oh, I got the binders. Jeffrey Epstein, whatever.
Yeah, the big scandal.
All these guys, even some of them having a phone call directly to the president. I mean, and in 2000, I don't know what year that was, either 2017 or 2018, something like that, where Trump called in to INFOWAR.
It was 2016. It was during the election.
Oh, 2016. He called in. He knew you guys would be the front line of getting him inside. But today, somehow, you guys are not the front line of receiving information and receiving favors. What's going on? Am I missing something?
I mean, we saw Trump say to Alex, you have a fantastic reputation and I will not let you down. I mean, look at how much he let him down, right? And you talk about this, you talk about the DC Drano, the Emily Austin, all these types, the libs of TikTok that got the binders for the Epstein thing and were just kind of a part of that big scandal. All these people, Benny Johnson, who used to be a plagiarist who worked for BuzzFeed, that was his claim to fame. Benny Johnson got all the backing, all the support. He got to fly on a plane with Trump and talk to him. I mean, what have any of these people ever done for Donald Trump besides be like social media avatars for whatever he wants to push? I mean, you know, I think it comes down to us being independent at the end of the day and not really a part of the power structure. And people point at Alex and say, oh, he loves Trump too much. He supports Trump too much, all this stuff. Well, I mean, if you were him and you were in this situation where you had been legally screwed over and they had done lawfare against you, you would be begging and hoping and praying the administration, all Trump would, it would be one phone call, and you would just have to talk to his attorney general and just go, hey, like, have you looked at this? Like, why is this investigation being stifled? Why isn't this being talked about? Some public support, maybe. That's maybe all it would take, but we don't get that, and it's very sad to see.
You see, I think Trump is on his phone all the time. I think he's always tweeting. I think he's always writing something. He writes about, Greta Thunberg doing the butt flick, and he's like, oh, let me write. How come he's not he's not found the time to like, oh no, a show that I happened to call in when I was running, it's getting shut down. I mean, man, this is worth a Truth Social post. How come? I know Alex Jones is being so friendly with Trump, where he's keeping and he's supporting, and sometimes he criticizes, but then he gets back into line and he doesn't do too much. But you can tell there's a lot of anger there from your dad, and he's holding back because he knows himself is being stabbed in the back. I'm sure he knows that now. Because there's so much more Trump could do to like fix this. This would not even go on for this long if Trump was interested to fix it as much as it is interested to
even
fix
just raising awareness, man. Even just raising awareness for us would be huge. And we don't get any of that. We get some signaling, from people like Ed Martin in the administration that might be interested. But you have to understand, my issue with Trump and what I've seen is in the first administration, everyone said, oh, he appointed the wrong people. They kind of led him astray. He wasn't aware of the political machinery and the factions involved, and he kind of got played a little bit. That was the excuse the first term. That made a lot of sense to me. I adopted that. That's why I voted for Trump in 2024, was because I said, hey, maybe there's a hope now that he will actually be able to address these problems and that he's aware of them. Sadly, it just looks like they're trying to build that uniparty coalition, working with people like Lindsey Graham and Senator Blumenthal, who's the guy that's actually running the lawsuits against us, by the way. I mean, the Democratic Party, even more than the Republicans, they're a party of lawyers. That's all they are. They go to school, they get the Ivy League law degree, and they sue people. They don't create anything on their own. They're incapable of it. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to get people to organically support them. So their bread and butter is, like a personal injury attorney. They're ambulance chasers at the end of the day. They're looking for something to just bleed money out of something that's already successful. They can take over and control at the end of the day. And that's what was done to us. And, the same thing's been done to Trump. Trump has been sued. Trump has faced criminal charges that were all bogus and BS, right? The Russia stuff. I mean, that's one of my main reasons for supporting Trump, is that Russia stuff is a lie. It's a damn lie. It all came out. Hillary Clinton paid for the Fusion GPS dossier, but they ran this for years. My entire teenage life was watching coverage of this Russia hoax story. And you'd think that someone that was the victim of something like that would understand how serious this lawfare is and how important it is to squash it. Why don't you support the best example against it, which is us? It really is. Black and white, we're the best example against it. And people look at the story, they say, Sandy Hook, horrible, monstrous, the kids got killed and the parents, it's the worst thing you could ever imagine, right? But when you have something like that, that's the worst thing you could ever imagine. All you have to do when you're the lawyers is approach the parents and go, hey, we got a really good story here. We got a really good deal. We can go sue all these people forever. So before they sued us, they sued Remington. They sued the gun manufacturer that made the gun that the guy used to go to the school, right? Wow. And last time I checked, if you get run over by a Camry, you can't sue Toyota. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how that works, right? Yeah, but exactly. They sued Remington into bankruptcy. And when they got the $71 million from Remington, they turned their eye on us and they tried to do the same thing to us. Now, why does one of the biggest gun manufacturers in the world, and apparently the manufacturer responsible for the gun that was used in the horrific incident, why does the gun manufacturer pay $71 million? Why do we have to pay $2.2 billion? Does that make sense to you? And in America, we have Bill of Rights, Article 8, there shall be no excessive fines imposed. Like, it's black and white. It's in the law. Like, there were excessive fines put on us purely from a punitive standpoint that aren't right. And you look at InfoWars, numerous offers were made to be like, hey, Alex will still work. He needs all the creative control. Y'all can't dictate anything, but we'll pay y'all out over 10 years. Just let us keep InfoWars. It would be like, Baraka, if you had a big mansion, right? And you got in your car and you were intoxicated and you like hit me on the street and I sued you. And I got the value of your mansion for my lawsuit against you. But instead of making you sell the mansion and taking the money from it, or instead of, taking the money in some traditional way, it would be like if I took possession of the mansion and then spray painted on it, had people like defecate on it and like tore it down and destroyed the value of the place. They destroyed the value of the place, and they say they want restitution. They say they want a redress of grievances. They say they want to get paid. It's not about that. It's about chopping.
Mm-hmm. Go on. What's the message?
To be independent media. You don't get to ask questions, because if you do, the Democrat Party law firms will find a way to sue you, will find a way to take you down. And at the end of the day, we will take over your online image and we will pollute it with our own fake graven image of what you are, which is what they want to do with the Onion.
Yeah. Talk
to him up and have him talk about Bigfoot and have him call himself stupid. I mean, it's outrageous.
Hold on, because I've heard this conspiracy. I've heard this from a lot of people saying, hey, they're going to take Alex Jones' INFOWARs, and they're going to, obviously Alex Jones will go, because of course he's not going to be there and work as a slave for these guys. He's going to go on Alex Jones' network, and they're going to use INFOWAR. They're going to create some AI Alex Jones and make him say stuff to basically ruin his name, and people won't be able to tell which Alex Jones it is. Do you think that's what would happen if they take over?
Yes, 100%. And it's unclear as to what's going to happen now, because keep in mind that that auction was suspended. So I don't believe they actually have a legal right to it. But I mean, you never know with these people, and it's in state court, like we're a gamble judge. I mean, the trial they had for my dad, it was produced by HBO. They had HBO cameras in there. They were doing the judge's makeup. So you never know what this judge is going to decide to do. I mean, she's a real piece of work. She's a real piece of crap. I don't want to swear on here, because I don't want to get you banned or demonetized on YouTube. But this is America. We can say whatever we want about people. She is a disgusting pig creature from the depths of hell. And that's my opinion, but it's true.
You'll get arrested here, you know.
Yeah.
You're going to get me arrested, boss.
But we're across the pond. It's a little different over here. We had a war a long time ago to decide these things. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I can say whatever I want. And it's so disgusting. And again, I go back to the point I make earlier. These people, they don't build anything. They don't make anything. They don't create anything. They don't make people happy. All they do is tear people down for financial gain. That's what it's all about. And INFOWARs, people pointed at us and laugh and go, oh, they sell the pills, they sell the supplements. I mean, have we ever hurt anyone doing that? No. Have we destroyed anyone's livelihood doing that? No. We give people benefit. It's stuff that you would take anyway, like high quality stuff at like a Whole Foods grocery store in the supplement aisle. That's all that we sell anyway, right? And I can get into that later. But the main thing is they come after you when they see that you're self-funded, when you're self-supported, when you're an independent operation, and they're just going to take you down. So if they do get access to the company, if they do get the INFOWARs name and all of that, and I do believe they will, because the INFOWARs domain name is worth, hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million on its own. They will probably get control of that asset. They won't get control of the studios like they would have in the past, because all that stuff has to be sold off. But they're going to get something out of this, and they're going to pollute his image. And, in the age of AI and all of this, all these large language models, all they do is they scrape and they put together kind of a digital identity and a gestalt of everything you've ever done. So if they're able to take new INFOWARs and put out 30 years of bad content as opposed to Alex's 30 years of good content, they'll be able to merge the two. And in the Internet of Things, that's who he will be. Yeah, and that's against human rights, in my opinion.
As we all know, like all these human rights stuff, laws, and they don't really work.
No,
I mean, we got to learn that.
It's not with good intention. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. These are deliberately malignant and malevolent things that they're doing to suppress people. And ultimately, it's going to be a very curated view, like a Netflix front screen or like an Amazon Prime front screen, where you've got the shows that you're allowed to watch, the shows that are supported by the big backers, the big donors, the big funders. And that's why supporting independent media like yourselves and like INFOWARs, I mean, I was so happy seeing your intro, seeing, some of that imagery there. It made me very proud. You've clearly learned a lot from the operation and factored it into yourself. And that's what we've always told people to do. All our stuff is free to air. It's free to rebroadcast. It's free to clip. You do whatever you want. That's always been the message at INFOWARs. And all these other places like, oh no, how do we monetize everything? How do we copyright strike? How do we take people's stuff down because they're posting our videos? Good. Post our videos. Please share it. Like that's what we're about. And there's honesty in that these people lack, and they don't understand it. Like when they came in, they spent when the bankruptcy's going on, lawsuits going on, they spent years in discovery trying to find the hidden money. Like, where is all the money? This company made hundreds of millions of dollars. Where is all the money? As they're standing in our massive studio with all the employees and everything, there's the money. That's where the money went. The money went to build the operation. We didn't hide it away or squirrel it away like you people would have. We spent it on building something, which is what you're supposed to do. Money is energy at the end of the day. And we required that energy to grow.
Yeah. I don't think you grow something that big without love. First of all, you gotta love it, because I'm sure the reason why Alex Jones has been standing right now and still broadcasting, which he'll probably will in the next hour, broadcasting live, is because he loves it.
Yes, very true. It's got nothing to do with
personal enrichment. He's not doing it for the money. He's not doing it because he has to pay some bills. No, he loves it. Like, you don't go through that much pain if you don't like it, like what you're going through. Because let me quickly tell you a story here. We were demonetized on YouTube for 9 months. I told my team, I was like, hey, actually, as soon as we got demonetized, I hired another guy. That's like what that's the opposite of what you do. You fire everybody.
It's the mindset of going through the storm. Yeah, and 100%. Talk about that.
Yeah, I hired another guy, which is right now as we speak. If you go through an X account, he's the one who controls the X account, Facebook, all the platforms. So we hired him. He comes in, and we just said, hey, we just want to go 100%. Like, we're not making any money, but guess what? I'm going to invest my personal money to your salary, to everybody's salary. We're just going to go hard. And we just went on, and we're posting 7 videos a day. Bear in mind, we are making zero amount. And we just kept on going because I loved this. I enjoyed doing this. This is the worst career path to go through. I could easily just go find another job. I'm sick right now. I don't know if you know, but I'm really sick. I'm coughing around. If I was working for somebody else, I could have applied for sick leave. I'll be laying in bed. I won't have to go. I'll be.
But that's not you, and that's why I like you. That's why I'm doing the show today. That's not you. You wanted to broadcast.
That's it. We'll live stream hard. And that's what I've maybe still from Alex Jones, but that's why I see he loves the game, and that's why he's been standing for long. I mean, what do you think about that?
You and me are both just some of the many students that have learned from him over the years. That's the beautiful thing about his style and his broadcasting and that spirit is that it's free and available. He doesn't charge for it. All you have to do is watch and learn. So we both learned from the same man.
Yeah. Man, it's insane. But we want to translate out like this story, like it's like another 2-hour broadcast here. But obviously we're gonna have to translate to something else. But I really hope everything goes well. But I'm assuming once they take this 30,000 pounds weight off his back, he'll be able to fly high and high with Alex Jones Network. So it's gonna be really sick to see him on that.
That's what I see as well.
Yeah, I see that. I can tell that guy. He looks stressed. He looks angry, and maybe that's why he didn't handle the way the fallout with Owen. Maybe that's why he didn't handle it well, because
it's a very tough time, and
stress.
Going at a state of position where you're kind of trying to hold on to the crew that you have. Look, I'm not privy to Alex and Owen's individual private discussions. I don't know what went on there. So ultimately, I can't give a value judgment of one person good, one person bad. I know they saved a lot of lives during COVID with their coverage. I know that they really saved and protected a lot of the Jan 6 people and were the reason why a lot of those people ended up getting pardons from President Trump. They've done a lot of great work together, and I love both men. They're both phenomenal, fantastic. They're both incredibly talented. Owen is incredibly talented. So is my father, of course. But the thing you got to keep in mind is my dad is not the easiest person in the world to work for, and especially in a time of great stress like this. He really viewed, the personal argument or fight or whatever it was over the broadcast as a betrayal, right? And that's his view. It's not my view, but ultimately it's not my network. It's not my broadcast. So I could be wrong about that. How I see it is I want them to hug and make up one day, preferably soon. I want to see this argument. I want to see this bickering kind of fade out because it's beneath us at the end of the day. That's how I see it.
Yeah, man. He did his first live stream, which came out really well. So smashed it. Well done, Owen. I'm always rooting for you from the other side, Owen. I'm always rooting for you on this side. Keep on going. I like the selection of music of yesterday's live stream. So smashed it. Now let's switch into the next one. This MAGA infighting. We have individuals who are just we don't know who they are, but they somehow happen to get so many views on X and they never shown their face before somehow. But you already know the flag they have in their bio. Some individuals have been around for long. Some individuals are just came around when Trump came around. Maybe their selection, I would say. Maybe started tweeting and got viral and stuff, and now they call themselves MAGA. They're fighting one man, and the guy goes by the name of Tucker Carlson. And almost you get like thousands of Twitter accounts attacking this one guy, and there's like, hey, this guy's an Islamist, is this, Qatar funding and all these fighting. I mean, what do you make of this? And which side are you on if you are picking a side on this fight?
Well, I'm definitely on Tucker's side. I'm definitely on Candace Owens' side. I'm definitely on Nick's side. I'm definitely on my father's side. I mean, when you look at it, the infighting going on is between these people that, like you said, they just kind of popped up or appeared out of nowhere. Also people that have been there for a while, but they've been there for a while pushing their agenda. People like Ben Shapiro, right? You've got these folks over on one side, and it seems to be the folks that Trump is the most friendly with, right? You've got kind of just, I call them like the AI prompt influencers, right? Because everything they write looks like an AI prompt. And you've got the originals over on the other side, the people that have really been doing this forever, that have those giant independent fan bases. And you kind of have this war between kind of establishment GOP and then the boomers that support the establishment GOP and the AIPAC talking points, versus the people that have been able to garner audiences of millions and millions of people that all support them, people like Candace, people like Tucker, people like my dad, people like Nick. And you've got this split going down as to where the people on the left, and really, I guess, the uniparty side, the people that are more establishment GOP, they're making all these accusations of Qatar funding and of, mania, and these are crazy people over here on the independent right.
But they happen to bring some receipts. Like sometimes, what's her name? Laura Loomer, she'll come out with like a big receipt, a screenshot of something, I don't know, a document, and we'll have Tucker Carlson's name and his company name, and people will be like, oh, that's a receipt. Oh, it must be true. And everybody else just spread it, saying exactly the same thing. Do you believe what the paper that they show?
I don't. I think she's. I think she's
investigation that they do. Do you believe any of those?
I don't. I think she's rabid. I mean, we were talking about someone like Loomer, Benny Johnson, DC Drano. All these people, they have lines to President Trump. They have his phone number. They talk to him. He likes them. They can go on a plane with him. They can go visit the White House like Laura Loomer has done numerous times. Ultimately, Laura Loomer is someone who really got her start by going on the INFOWARS broadcast. And she's really pivoted into this establishment GOP lane. So she calls herself like feisty and all this stuff. And, Trump likes that. He likes the trolling. He likes the counterculture. And I'm not discounting the fact that she's done good work in the past. I think that she has. But as things have become more and more ideologically divided, now that actually, the good people are supposed to be in charge, but they're not doing any of the good stuff. I mean, I see Laura Loomer ultimately as someone that makes excuses for what goes on in Gaza. So that's all you need to know about Laura Loomer. And if you're making excuses about, an active mass slaughter of people at the end of the day, I would say there's some funding there to look at possibly, but I don't know that. That's just a speculation. But all this talk of Qatar, it seems to be projection. Usually when someone is guilty of something, they accuse you of being guilty of the same thing in a different aspect. I see a lot of that here today. I see a lot of it.
Yeah. And because there's one side. Actually, there's two sides. There's two sides that questions everything. That side is the one that questions Israel money, the one that questions the war with the 12 days war, whatever you want to call that, the bombing of I would say the illegal bombing of Iran. These guys are the ones questioning Epstein, the cover-up, and these guys are questioning all the stuff. They are questioning the, deploying the troops to California and all these places, whichever places that they deploy. They question basically every single thing. And they can be radical with it as well sometimes, but they question everything. And there's an oversight. And when I mean question everything, I'm putting Nick Fluenter on that side. I'm putting Tucker Carlson on that side. I'm putting Candace Owen. Yeah, questioning the Charlie Kirk assassination, all that. I'm putting those guys on that side. And there's also this one side, which is more of like, trust Trump. Don't say anything that undermine Trump's. If Trump says jump, you jump. Don't even ask how high. Just jump instantly and hopefully he likes it. Right. If Trump tweets this, tweet it and hype it. If Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, when he comes to America, make sure you're on the line, ready to take a picture. So these are these guys. And they are like clashing each other. And most of it is because of Israel and America. It's like these guys are like, everybody's Americans. All of these guys, I believe all these guys are Americans. But somehow it's like they're fighting their own American, citizens.
Well, let me make a point here for your audience, because y'all are a foreign audience. So at the end of the day, the thing you have to understand about U.S. politics is you've got Bush versus Gore, then you've got Obama versus McCain, and then you've got Obama versus Romney. And going back before that, it was all the same system. It's a uniparty, right? You have the establishment left, the establishment Democrats, and they're pushing a position. And then you have the establishment right, the establishment Republicans, and they're pushing a position. And both of the sides hate each other, right? But the left hates the right because it's big money and the lower taxes for the rich and all of this. And the right hates the left because they see them as weak and they see them as not strong enough to defend the country. It's a very basic narrative of getting two sides to fight each other, right? And it worked very well for multiple decades in the United States. With the advent of Trump, when Trump came down the escalator in 2015, when Trump showed up to the debates and started criticizing and poking fun and tearing down the establishment Republicans, I mean, Jeb Bush, the guy he nuked into orbit and just annihilated, that guy was seen by many as very likely to be the president. And even more so than that, Hillary Clinton in the general election, Trump shredded this entire system. He said left and right is bad. I'm going to be a populist. I'm going to adopt positions from really both sides of the fence, and that's how I'm going to win. So people got behind Trump, and you'll always hear this from an American. If you ask people why they voted for Trump or why people supported Trump, they will say, we wanted a wrecking ball to break the establishment, to break the current situation in the country. We wanted something new. And unfortunately, it seems like Trump has decided to kind of reform that left versus right dichotomy, where he's just getting the two sides to fight with each other, and he's the leader of the right, instead of really going forward and finding that middle ground and bringing people together. And that middle ground, even in the second administration, even in the second campaign, that's what he's always run on, and that's what he's always represented. And that's why you see people like Candace Owens, Tucker, Nick, my dad, and others. You see them all still on that side, still holding that congruent position that Trump ran on. And then you see Trump kind of establish this uniparty leader of the right position, where all these influencers and all these GOP shills and all these just like wind-up toys that are kind of owned by the power structure, he's made friends with them. He's broadcasting with them. He's giving them access. They're access journalists at the end of the day. They're doing it so they have access to him. They'll say whatever they want. Like you say, jump how high, just jump. That's the situation here. You've got people like my dad and others that are holding to the original position which Trump ran on, which is that populist, break the system mindset. And then Trump has kind of decided, because these people will work for him now that they realize that, hey, Trump isn't going away. We can't sue him. We can't impeach him. We can't bring him down. We might as well work with him. Like, if you can't beat him, join him. But it's really that on both fronts, where Trump has gone, hey, maybe I can't reform this system. Maybe the system is too broken. Maybe I should just work with these people, and maybe I'll get some of my things through. Maybe I won't. But the main thing is people will like me. And I really think the thing we've learned about Trump over the past 10 years, I mean, it was obvious beforehand if you watch shows like The Apprentice and others, but he kind of has a pathological need to be liked. He kind of needs people to like him. And the people he's around most, you're the sum of the people you spend, the 5 people you spend the most time with. He's around all these swamp creatures. That's right. So unfortunately, by osmosis, he's kind of become like them. And it's very sad, because we're still holding to the original positions that he ran on. Mm-hmm. We're holding to all of them. That's all we talk about. That's all we broadcast about. And a huge portion of his supporters, I would say at least half, also hold to that establishment position. but you've got the older people, you've got the boomers, specifically the over 55, the over 65, really, that were raised on that establishment media culture of we are the GOP, we are Republicans. Fuck that. I'm not a Republican. I'm a populist. I'm an America First guy. I'm a nationalist. I love my country. At the end of the day, that's what I'm a patriot. At the end of the day, we're not Democrats, or Republicans, or Green Party, or Libertarian. We love our country and we're patriots, and that's what we supported.
I think it works best in their favor when they have the left and the right fighting each other,
right?
Or even if they have a group of rights, a group of people on rights just fighting each other, so that nobody can actually go and question their policies. Nobody's
100%.
actually sitting there examining what Trump is doing. Bam, 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 bam. No. And come with real receipts and criticize it. Nobody's doing that because everybody's busy fighting on, hey, what does NEXFRONTIER think about this? What does Dinesh, what's his last name? Dinesh whatever. What does he think? Say that again.
Dinesh D'Souza, I believe.
Dinesh D'Souza. What does he think about this? Or what does Laura Rumor said this? Oh, Candace Owens wrong. Fight. And while the mere person who was elected to get things done is sitting there just watching these guys fight. Nobody's trying to put him on a fire and be like, hey, man, do you know that this girl, what's her name? Ghislaine Maxwell might walk free because you said the Epstein situation was a hoax. Do you think she might walk free? Nobody's questioning that because we're all busy fighting each other. Well, the Americans are all busy fighting each other. Do you think this is created by...
It's so outrageous. Pam Bondi, when this all happens, she goes, I have the list. It's on my desk. And then a couple weeks later, she goes, there's no list. I was just talking about an inventory of the stuff that we had. And then you got Kash Patel and Dan Bongino who did podcasts and who literally, you don't run for the positions they have. You get appointed to them. But in the court of public opinion, just like Pete Hegseth, Fox News guy, they were running for that position by holding these, making these talking points about, investigating Epstein and finding out the truth about all this stuff, especially Dan Bongino. I mean, Kash Patel is a podcast guy. He's a podcast creature. That's where he comes from. They all ran on this, and they do that Fox News interview where they look like deer in the headlights, and they go, I've seen the file. He killed himself. It's so crazy that immediate memory holding can go on, and people are just like, Epstein, it's not that big a deal. Look at Trump. He posted a meme. Isn't that awesome that he posted this meme? It's like, well, we voted for him because we liked him, and we liked him because he posted memes for sure, but we really voted for him because he said he was going to do all this stuff and expose these people. And it's like we got this saying here in Texas and really in the South.
Go on.
It's the steak and the sizzle. Right. And with Trump right now, it's too much sizzle and it's not enough steak. There's not enough heat, the heat around it, the energy, the vibes. He's still trying to manufacture that. And that energy is still there, but there's no steak. There's no substance to it.
You end up biting the bone. Yeah. It's not enough meat. Oh, man. That's where we are right now. Because I see everybody's fighting. I don't know who started, but almost everybody has an opinion. And some are just fighting because, hey, it makes money. You get paid for views. So why not? Why not make a response?
Old people riled up, man. That's what it's all about. The boomers, they have all the money and they like to see that content. They enjoy it, seeing it. They like to see the FAFO stuff, the F around and find out. They love it. If you just post stuff like that, I've done it before just to get some likes, and you get likes from doing it because the old people, they're engaged with it. They enjoy seeing it.
But that's the problem here, because we're trying to grow something big here. I'm sure you'll probably notice that we are trying to grow something huge, something impactful. And I always tell my team, hey, if you're going to post, make sure you know what you post. Don't say some random shit for views, because that will define this company. That will define the Baraka Show network. So we're not trying to say this. Oh, it's going to rub these people on the, wrong way. They're gonna come on us, they're gonna attack us, they're gonna reshare, they're gonna more views. No, I'm like, no, because we're trying to go big. We're looking the next 20, 40, 50 years. I'm young, I'm 24. I got like 80 years to go. I don't want to mess up right now. So but I see a lot on that left, on the right, where people just go on Twitter just for views. And the sad thing about this, which I'm about to address right now, is that there's actually genuine people who follow these guys, ready to take information from them. There'll be just a normal guy who doesn't post, a guy who just probably reposts, who probably just shares and likes. He's actually listening and reading and looking curiously, trying to find out the truth.
They don't provide actual informative content. They don't provide news. They don't provide real information. It's just the same regurgitated pop culture stories that have that political flavor to them, right? And that's what the digital economy has been built off of now. And I see it and I'm sick of it. And that's why I'm so happy to do your show. That's why I'm happy to do my own show, my own Lives on X, is because ultimately we're not doing this. We're trying to bring information, breaking news, valuable stories, and we're not telling people how to feel about this stuff. We're giving our take on it, and then people can make up their own mind. Versus with these people, it seems to be the other way around. It's like they give you the take and they tell you how to make up your mind.
Yeah, literally. And if you don't make up your mind, they're calling you an Islamist.
Right. That's so crazy. You know, the conflation of what's happened in Palestine to like the terror attacks. We don't want the terror attacks. We don't want the radical Islamists here. Like, no kidding. We've been talking about that for decades and decades and decades. But to take something horrible that happens domestically and then go, hey, these people over here in this country, they don't deserve to live. It's a very sick thing. And you see people go, yeah, well, I don't support them. I don't like them. They should just go screw off. And it's like, well, they're human beings and we're Christian, right? Like, we believe in God and everyone's made in the image of God. So you can't treat human beings like this. But you see like the rage baiting that goes on, and the old people, they're more than happy to just discount other human beings. It's sick.
Yeah, I was talking to this about with one of my staff. Yeah, I think yesterday or this morning, really early this morning, or maybe last night. And it was more about Israel Palestine, and it was like, hey, where do you stand on this? Because you don't really talk about it. You're just watching it happening. And I was thinking, you're right. I don't talk about, because people have picked a side. This is not a conversation where you pick a side. This is babies being butchered on both sides. We've seen October 7th, which is today, the anniversary of it. Babies got butchered, and now babies are being butchered as well. So you don't pick a side who deserves your tears. All of them do, and none of them should face what
you got a situation where crazy. Gaza is basically, you know, it's a place that's like 3 or 4 times bigger than Austin, and Austin's not a big place at all. You've got a population of just around like under 2 million people, and half of them are around like under 18. So regardless of the situation, the mass slaughter that goes on, those are our American weapons that are doing it. Those are our bombs doing it. And their own, like Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister, Ben Gvir Netanyahu, they state this is not about fighting Hamas. This is not about freeing the hostages. This is about making the place uninhabitable so that those people have to leave their home. They have to leave their home, and they're going to build condos and a casino on top of it like Dubai. That's their vision for it. And there's also a ton of offshore oil off the coast of Gaza, and Israel wants that. So for people to pretend that they're on the moral side of things and they support this regime that's doing all this stuff to the Palestinian people, the leaders of the government, admittedly themselves, are carrying this out because they want the land. It's a land grab. The people in Israel, I'm sure you've seen this, there have been mass protests as of recently, because they know that Netanyahu will sabotage any peace deal possible. He'll kill the hostages if it means he gets to take the land. That's what it's all about.
I've not seen any sort of evidence that shows that. I'm not sure. What do you mean? So you're suggesting that they want to take the land? They want to like take Gaza and West Bank? Where are the Palestinians gonna go? Well, where are they gonna go? Like,
they'll send them to Egypt. They'll send them to the U.S. They'll send them to Europe. Anywhere really where they can put them, they can make an argument. They've done it already. I mean, look at Afghanistan. Look how many Afghanis that the UK took in. It's the second biggest migrant population in y'all's country. There's a whole platform on this. And like, as far as clips go and as far as evidence goes, we can do more shows. I can show you more clips. I was watching Smotrich on my last live stream. We can rewind it and find it.
Yeah, what? It would be cool if, I mean, we can, I don't mind if you got the evidence. It would be cool to host a show and just dedicate it on Gaza and Israel.
We'll talk about it for sure. This is stated. This is admitted. This is what it's about. Like, there are public polls on this. I mean, almost half of Israeli Jewish citizens support the deportation and removal of Arab citizens of their own country. These are Arab Muslims that hold passports in Israel. So like here's my problem. You've got the radical Muslims, you've got the people in the area that rule by Sharia law and all this stuff, and they're a theocracy. And theocracy in the modern world is not okay. We need to have secular government, separation of church and state. Israel is also a theocracy. They also rule based off of religious law. Netanyahu's coalition was falling apart, and the ultra-Orthodox Jews were like, hey, our religious text says thou shalt not kill. We don't want to be recruited into the military. If you recruit us into the military to go fight in Gaza, we're going to break up your Knesset coalition and you're going to lose the ability to be prime minister. So he said, okay, you're exempt from service. That doesn't work that way here. If Christian, Muslim, Jew, you have to go serve if there's a draft. I'm not sure how it works in the UK, but it's the same thing. They have religious laws the same as any other country in that area. And I really the Middle East is bad. It's a bad spot. They've been fighting for thousands and thousands of years. My problem is it's American weapons and munitions that go into that area and they're used to carry out these atrocities. And that's what I don't support.
Yeah, and of course it's bad when babies are killed. I mean, any baby getting killed, it's just that it's strange to see that there will be people picking side. It's just I just don't know. I don't believe it. I don't like what I'm seeing. So the fact that my team member asking me, hey, what's your opinion on this? What side are you on? I'm like, hey, there's no side to be on. Babies are dying on both sides. How, like, if you are a Christian, because my Bible is always at the back here, but today it wasn't because I was praying with my parents. They just came through, so my Bible is still at the table there. It's literally right there. So if I say, hey, I'm a Christian, I go to church every Sunday. I pray before I go sleep. I pray before I eat. I pray. I ask for forgiveness. I ask for forgiveness for others. And I do all these things that God told us to do while we waiting patiently for him to come. Now, it will be really cruel for me to start picking a side of whose baby should die and whose baby deserves my tear. I mean, what the heck are we? How could you consider yourself a Christian? I don't consider you a Christian if you're picking a side on this situation.
Right, well, I mean, look, people deserve to live. People deserve to be in their homes. People deserve food and water and electricity. And when you talk about Israel, Palestine, there used to be 400 aid centers, UN-run aid centers, and they come in and they say, Hamas is taking the food, so we can't have these aid centers anymore. They create the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the GHF. You want a statistic, I can quote this for you. I know it's true. It comes from the Gaza Health Ministry. So, like, it's Israeli-backed and Israeli-supported, this factual number right here. It's low end, in my opinion. Over 18,000 Palestinians have been seriously wounded going to these aid sites that the Israelis have started running. And the Israelis' excuse is, hey, we don't want Hamas to get the food. We want Hamas to go away. Well, they're not winning the war against Hamas. They're in a stalemate. It's still going on. They're underground. They're in tunnels, you name it. The people, the generic citizens of the area, they're the ones that are suffering from all of this. They're the ones that are suffering.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I don't see an effort really on either side to make it right. You know, President Trump, he came out and he said, look, we're very close to a peace deal. And then Hamas came out with a statement shortly later where they agreed to most parts of his plan. I just don't see Netanyahu agreeing to it. I don't see him agreeing to it. And I think the war's going to continue. And I think it's very sad. More on that, I think the grifting that has been done, especially domestically, especially from the pro-Israel crowd here in the United States, it's really gross. It's really gross. The things that they say about people, they dehumanize them. Yeah, they say they're not people. And it's the same with people that hate the Jews, right? They dehumanize them, and that's not okay. But one group of people is being actively killed right now every day, and it's being supported by people in our government.
Yeah, because I see how it's divided the nation here in the UK. We had a terror attack that took place last week, really horrible, where 3 people died, you know, including the perpetrator. And this is what is brought in, where now you are giving the young guys who are protesting everywhere, you are giving them a reason to keep on protesting. You are giving them a reason to get violent. Well, there should not be any violent, but when they see, especially a lefty, I got a left wing, some guy who works for me, well, person who works for me, she leans more on the left. So when we talk about Gaza and we debate, and she gets emotional, and then you get to see that they're emotional, they're angry. Now they're calling to global, glorify the intifada, and now you are getting young people being radicalized, thinking that you're gonna be a martyr if you go out there and carry this against the Jews, against this. That's all we get, and now it's coming to our street at the door. It's literally happened less than 10 miles away from where I live. A terror attack took place, and it's a guy wanted to kill Jews. Why? Because he's seeing videos and he's seeing people dehumanizing other individuals. I mean, I don't condone those behavior. None of that should be happening. It's insane. But I want to switch this conversation to something else, because this one is just like
really quick. It's all by design. It's called the Hegelian dialectic. You get the two groups of people to fight each other, Islamists, Jews, people on the West, left versus right, rich versus poor. It's a dynamic design to get us to fight so they can take our rights away from us, and that's the way it's always worked. They see ultimately
who's they? Who's these people?
The power structure, people in the government, people in y'all's government, people in our government, the special interests, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, the companies that want to buy up all the property.
But it makes no sense, because you will get people on the right, people on the left taking the street, causing violence. Why would you want that in your town and cities?
Right. Well, it's so the government can come in and say, hey, we need the digital ID. We need all these things. We need the censorship. So we can make you safe. And Benjamin Franklin, our great founding father, he's right behind me. His eye is right behind me. Those who desire to give up liberty for security will deserve neither and will lose both. That's the truth.
Makes sense.
So we are reaching a point now with the accelerationism where it's just very depressing, and I pray that people can snap out of it and just realize we need to have a pro-human, egalitarian, equal rights, human rights system where everyone is valued and no one religious system gets to rule. Ultimately, we live in a world where there needs to be separation of church and state, like we have in America. But what was your next point that you were going to go on?
Yeah, I was gonna bring up something else, and you wanted to add up to that, but then it just. Of course, we got this BlackRock, Vanguard, and all these institutions that are heavily growing. We got Palantir emerging in the UK as well, capturing data. Now, somehow, our NHS, the biggest national health institution in the world, is somehow controlled and with business with Palantir technology. Why? So a lot to that. Now we got the digital ID, BRICS card, they're calling it, where nobody will be able to work unless you have it. That is scary. It's like folks are home thinking, this is just a legislation that will just be banned. No, they tried. We tried. We protest. We did a petition. 2 million plus people signed the petition under like 2-3 days. Guess what? The government responded saying, no, you are getting the digital ID no matter what. Hey, if you think this is not the time to get mobilized and get loud, of course, politically,
non-violently, politically, non-violently, metaphysically, yes, I totally agree with you. I mean, the main thing to do is if you get every one of those people and then more of those people, you raise awareness and you just don't comply with the system, they will ultimately have to change it. They will. It's just it's a political nonviolence, like Martin Luther King Jr. It's peaceful action, but it's also civil disobedience is what it is. You don't agree, you don't comply. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but look, so you won't be able to work unless you have it.
I know. But if enough people rebel against it, they have to do something. I mean, look, I don't want to get you banned. I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to talk about Keir Starmer. I really don't like that guy. He's a real problem for you people. You guys got to get that guy in office bad. He's the worst dude I've seen geopolitically since Ursula von der Leyen. And she's unelected.
You think Ursula von der Leyen is better than Keir Starmer for real?
Keir Starmer is so bad. He's
really bad.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to get you banned, but I like he's not the vibe that I get from him, especially with the Ukraine war and the never-ending
Oh
continuing of
God.
Ukraine. I mean, look, in America, we have a lot of problems. We're running out of munitions and stuff. We do have 1 million people we could deploy. We have more than that if we called them up. Y'all have like 70,000. Y'all don't need to be involved in this. Like it should stop. And I don't want British people to get killed over there. But 10,000 Polish people who have voluntarily gone and served in Ukraine have already died. And imagine losing like an eighth of your military.
Look, just the numbers of people that we have serving in our armed forces. Yeah, you want to guess how many? Take a guess.
100,000.
The whole number, the whole everybody who are serving, who are active right now. Take a guess.
250,000.
What the fuck? Go on, try again. That's way too high. That's like 3 times. Oh, I just gave it to you.
80,000.
Close, a little bit less. 73,000.
Man,
That's
yeah.
all. That's all we have in all our bases. And guess what? He thinks it's better to send 10,000 of them to Ukraine as peacekeepers.
Yeah, it's a death sentence, man. It is. Those people are. They lose. Ukrainian desertion numbers are in the hundreds every day. It's because the situation on the ground is so bad, and you're dealing with the situation where they've lost close to 1 million people. The Russians have lost a ton of people, but it's a numbers calculation. The population of Russia is like 5-6 times that of Ukraine, so they can afford it. The Ukrainians can't.
Yeah.
And this war just has to continue. And, you know, some of Trump's advisors, I mean, they're the worst people. Like General Kellogg, he made this pontificated. He made this point about the Russians pulling tanks out of mothballs in museums. The Russian manufacturing power, they're the only country on the earth, even China can't do it, that could completely survive by itself without outside material or influence, right?
Wow, that was insane.
They make the amount of missiles that we make in a year in 2 months. They make it in 2 months. And we want this to continue on for another year or two.
Yeah.
There needs to be a peace deal. When this war started, you have to keep in mind, there was an Istanbul peace agreement that Zelensky went over and almost signed. And the deal was you recognize the Donbass, Donetsk, Luhansk, and the other one as independent regions. They get to vote. They get to decide where they're going to go and what they're going to do. Zelensky was about to sign that agreement, but guess who came in? Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson flew to Ukraine and said, we will back you to the hilt. America will back you to the hilt. NATO is with you. You can do this. And look at the death.
Look at that. None of these guys will ever feel the pain that the Ukrainians have to feel. Never. These guys will be, I mean, talk about the Ukrainian lady who had to be like, we witnessed her being butchered in a bus. She didn't want that. She should have been at home in her own country, living her life, taking care of her husband, her family, whatever she had going.
She thought it would be safe over here, and it's not. It's a very violent country over here. It's just it's a little different than y'all. It's more random violence. It's less like Islamist violence over here. It's more just random. But it really sucks, man, because you look at the situation over there, you look at the situation over here, you look at the situation over in the UK. Everyone is wound up. Everyone is stressed out. Everyone is just seeing bad news. Why can't we have good news? Why can't we have some peace, right? Oh, no, we have to fight for our sovereignty. We have to take the entirety of Ukraine back. We need this. Well, I understand the position. Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons voluntarily. That's their strongest argument for war, is they were promised sovereignty at the end of the day, because they gave up their nuclear weapons way back when. But
do you still
believe at a certain level, when there's this much death and it's not going to end unless you sue for peace, you're on the losing side. You have to sue for peace. I'm sorry. You have to do it. We've sent the Ukrainians over $300 billion, and that money's gone to weapons. That money's gone to the troops and all that. A lot of that money has ended up in the pockets of the oligarchs that run Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine is the most corrupt country in Europe. So you look at all these people, like I saw a photo of a government official's wife, and she's all decked out, and she's in the Porsche, and she's got the Cartier watch, and she's got everything.
Yeah.
There's dead people.
Yeah. Well, there's dead people in the front line. Well, there's people who are running away from their home. It's so bad to see how Trump has handled it, to be fair. I have to put, because this guy said to me privately, I must add, that he's going to end the war under 24 hours before even going in. I'm thinking, okay, Trump, that's a big promise. Are you sure? He's like, yeah, Putin is my friend. I'm like, are you really sure? Do you think Putin's just going to let you just, all right, Trump, I was waiting for you. I'm going to end it. Then Trump comes in. It gets worse. Then he hypes the meeting. What's it called? The Alaska meeting.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks like, man, this is it. We've seen all the MAGA people. This is it. It's the end. Look at Trump. Oh, the way he handled him. Oh, the way he pulled him in. Oh, look at Putin. The way he was walking to Trump. You can tell he was losing. Come on, really? This is where we are today. We are just becoming fans of politicians. We're not looking for results. We're just fans. Like, hey, he tweeted a meme. Hey, he was on the phone.
We become fans of the people that govern us, and that's not okay. The people are supposed to be very critical of everyone who's in power, good or even if they're doing a great job. You're supposed to be incredibly critical. Every single mistake they make, you got to criticize, and that's got to be a red line for you. And America, when you talk about the America of the 90s or the early 2000s, we were empire. We had basically infinite resources, control of the global financial system. We had everything. And Trump still operates like it's the America of the 90s or the early 2000s. That was decades ago. In the world we lived in now, I mean, I talk a lot about Trump. I criticize Trump a lot. Joe Biden was the worst president in American history, worse than any president before him. And what did he do when the war started in Ukraine? He weaponized the global financial system, the thing that's used for all bank transfers, all processes between countries, known as SWIFT. He weaponized that and seized like $300 billion in Russian assets. He took that all away. So that made the global market, the global South, really, China, India, Russia, the BRICS countries, that made them realize, hey, the U.S. is not a benign actor in all this. It's a malignant actor in all this. And if you go against them in any way, they will shut you down. They will impede the economy of your country. And that's why they're all working together now. Now BRICS has their own payment processing system. They have all these things. And it's the real soft power of America. And it isn't there anymore. Trump can't even pull that Biden card of weaponizing SWIFT because Biden already did it to no effect. It did nothing. Yeah. It did nothing for us.
But look at the sanctions. I mean, you have to give it. Like you have all these European countries are like, oh, this sanction would do it. This is the one. If we just get this passed, Putin will be done. With CK Starmer coming out there and be like, hey, we're gonna sanction this. This is the one. And sanction after sanction.
Baraka, you have to keep in mind, Lindsey Graham in our Congress and our Senate right now, he is pushing for the 19th sanctions package on Russia. The 19th one. They've done 18 sanctions packages on Russia. And every time Lindsey Graham goes up and goes, this will be the thing to break the back of the Russians. We're going to pass this sanctions package and Putin's going to be scared. They don't care. They've already adapted their economy. They've already fixed the entire thing as to where they don't require that outside influence, right? They've made their own versions of McDonald's and all the consumer products, and they have their own versions of the military products anyway because they don't buy from us. It doesn't affect them at all. It affects us. And you talk about Europe. Germany, the manufacturing backbone, the heartbeat of Europe, they were getting cheap Russian gas from that Nord Stream pipeline. We blew it up. The Ukrainians. The Ukrainians blew it up in like a Navy SEAL style operation. They don't do anything without the U.S. say-so, without our say-so. That's right. That pipeline gets blown up. Now Germany has to buy U.S. gas at 3 times the price that they were paying before. And I mean, look, things are bad in the States. Ultimately, we don't really have to worry about heating our houses or air conditioning and all this. I know y'all don't have AC over there, which is wild, but we don't have to worry about all these things because ultimately we have domestic energy here. And even if it got super expensive compared to what y'all are paying, it wouldn't be anything really. So like, it's a true nightmare scenario as to where like, I've always wanted to visit Europe, but looking at the situation, every time I look at it year over year over year, I'm like, I kind of don't want to go over there. It's kind of tough.
Yeah, it's dangerous over here. There's
places it's dangerous over here too, but you can defend yourself over here. That's the difference, and you won't go to jail.
Defending yourself over here is more of like you're most likely to go to jail. Like right now. Yeah. So a guy came in illegally in the country. Like he came in illegally, come through the boat. 8 days into the country, he sexually assaulted a young girl. A protest broke out. heavy protest. This guy has been convicted. He's in jail. And guess how long he was put in jail for? But obviously, that's a question you're going to answer later. Now, go back to the protest. A lot of protests took place to get this guy in jail, obviously, to make sure to close the hotel. Now, some people got arrested, convicted. Now, the person who convicted the crime that led to the protest, guess how long that person went in jail? And guess how long the people who protest got?
3 months, 3 years. That's what I'll say. You'll guess.
Yeah, so basically, you're kind of right. You are right in the sense where the person who did the crime got less than the person who protested. So he was in jail for 12 months. He just been convicted. And the guys literally just got convicted yesterday. And they're going for 2-3 years.
And what's the charge? What is the
it could be anything. It could be breach of peace, breach of this, section this, harassment, harassing the officer. It could be all these sort of things, like, because they put a section in, they put some like section 14 or something, which is like a curfew. I don't think that's the one, but there's a lot of section that they've created. These things should never exist. They're not like proper laws, but somehow, because they brought them in to defend themselves and run coverage for themselves, they're able to slap on individuals and tell them to go home and not protest. So if you don't go home, so let's say a protest will take place, the police will come around and be like, hey, we are putting a section, I don't know what section it was, but section something, which makes you guys illegal to be here at 10 o'clock. So if you're going to protest till 10 o'clock, that's it. You've breached the law and you could be convicted for it. Basically, that's how sensitive it is now, where you could be in prison for anything.
Y'all the judges with like the powdered wigs, right? The magistrates and all that. We don't have that here. I've seen some videos of people going to jail for offensive speech. And like the guy, I saw a guy in court, and it was one of those powdered wig guys reading and yelling at him, and he was reading his quote from online. He was saying like, I don't want to pay for like migrant health care and all this stuff. And like, that was his opinion.
I can't say
what?
I was going to say something, but obviously I realized I'm not in America. You can say anything you want right now. So
right. I mean, like, it's just, it's a police state. It's 1984.
Yeah.
You know,
and now they got the digital ID, so it's going to be even worse. They won't have to come to your house and arrest you. They can just flag your ID. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to turn up to work, or you're going to drive, whatever. It might be flagged. You won't be able to do those stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy because like here, like there are definitely like there's authoritarian issues. There's issues with the police. There's issues with police violence, of course. But at least here, our cops, they look like the people that would do it, right? You got like big jack dudes. You got guys with a bunch of tattoos, ex-military. You guys have like the people in the yellow vests and the little hats and all this, and it's so funny.
They look cute, right?
You hosted this speech at this time, and we're gonna have to take you in, but it's all right. And I'm gonna arrest you now. And like here, it'd be like on the ground, like,
on the ground, and you got a pistol right there, and so there's no mess up.
Yeah, y'all don't have y'all's cops like by large. I mean, I know there are police with weapons there and whatnot, but the fact that y'all live in a place where there's so much violence and the police aren't armed is crazy to me. That's pretty wild, you know, because like here, like if you attack a police officer here, you're gonna die. You're not gonna live.
Yeah.
But I've seen videos of y'all's cops being assaulted by the jihadis. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let's cover this one. Last one. Candace Owens. Candace Owens getting a lot of slack right now. Some people on the left are shouting, "Hey, this person is so rude, so like disregard of Charlie Kirk's life, disrespecting the family, Turning Point USA. This person's a snake." That's some people on the right, and other people are like, "Oh man, this is the best journalist. Wow, look at the information she's bringing in. I mean, wow, this is something that FBI would even get. This is something that FBI has been hiding. Candace Owens bringing it out to us," and everybody's praising it. Now, TP USA has come out and said, "Hey, we're gonna issue a, we got good lawyers. They're hinting that they might, they're going to do something legally with the people who are claiming a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of people who are claiming so many stuff. Like, hey, there's a bullet, there's a gun through the camera. Oh, there's a pager, through the microphone. And so many theories. What do you make of what Candace Owens has been doing? Have you been following what she's been doing?
Yeah, no, I've been following it quite intensely. So
tell me.
This is kind of a double-edged sword, right? So the official story is just not true. If he had been shot by a 30-06 bolt or lever action rifle, the bullet, there would have at least been an exit wound, and it really would have blown off half of his neck, if not his entire head. Now, I've shot deer with that weapon. I'm familiar with that weapon. I've used it multiple times. It is nasty, and it leaves a big chunk out the other side when you shoot something with it. So you got this video of Charlie Kirk where there's no exit wound, and then you've got on top of that this magic bullet theory where the TPUSA people came out and they said, Charlie was a man of steel. His spine was so tough that the bullet got stuck in it. It just, the ballistics, there's a guy, Valhalla VFT, you can look him up on YouTube. He does ballistics testing and stuff, and he shot a cow femur and he shot 1/4-inch steel. The bullet goes right through. That's right. And it leaves a giant. So the gun and the mic, the people standing next to him, like having some sort of weapon or something like that, that's clearly not true. That's clearly not what happened. And there is ground to stand on there for TPUSA if she's making that argument. I haven't followed her exact argument, but the official story is not true. They said Tyler Robinson got on the roof and he either reassembled the rifle there and shot him, or had the rifle, reassembled it, shot him, and then disassembled it again. Right. This rifle, you have to understand. So I have like an M4, I have like an AR-15 platform variant up in my bedroom. I could take that apart in about like 15 seconds and put it back together, right? And that's very simple because really you've got these two screws you can pop out with your hands. You just go like this. The receiver detaches from the lower, and then you can take the bolt out, and then you can put the bolt back in, connect the thing together, put the screws back in with your hands, and then boom, you have the rifle ready to use again from its broken down state. Right. This bolt action, lever action rifle, I'm not aware of exactly what variant it was, but I saw someone talk about it. It's got screws to where you need a screwdriver to take it apart. And even if you're the most skilled, the most trained guy in the world, it's going to take you at least like 45 seconds to do that. And the official story that we hear is he did it in a couple seconds. That's clearly not true. That's not true. I'm an American. I have plenty of experience with rifles and firearms. It doesn't work that way. And if he had a gun like the semi-automatic that I have upstairs, it would work that way, but he didn't. He had a very traditional hunting / sniper rifle that he was using. It's a platform that millions of Americans hunt with every year. It's very familiar to everyone. The round is the size of an average man's index finger. It's huge. It's a big, big bullet, and it's got a lot of stopping power behind it. It hits at the distance that Charlie was at. It hits at over 2,000 pounds of pressure, of force.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. And
I mean,
like that's going to hit you. It's going to be a lot bigger of a wound.
You don't. I mean, I get it. We're all Christians. We have to believe in the miracles, but there's a lot of miracles to believe in. Somebody must be lying.
Yeah, I mean, I was praying for him to be alive, man. Like when it happened, I was just like, dude, like, is there any way for this to transpire as to where he lives or something like that? Ultimately, you get shot in the neck, you get shot in the head. Your chances, even if it hits you like at an off angle or something like that, your chances are under 10% to live. It's the kill shot.
That's right.
It's oftentimes like in hunting, we're told to shoot for the heart because a headshot is just not as likely because it's a harder shot to make. But you shoot something in the head, it dies.
Yeah, it dies.
It's everything, right? So we prayed for a miracle, and then you look at the situation, and they're telling us kind of a reverse miracle happened where, like this evil thing transpired because of all these different variables. I don't believe the official story. I don't like how the FBI was already out there cleaning the scene a couple days after it happened. They already have their patsy. They already have the guy. It's perfect for him to blame. And it's the whole narrative. It's all trans stuff. And he liked the trans. So that's why he's the killer, because Charlie Kirk didn't like trans people. It's meant to get people to fight with each other. The story is too good. It's too good of a story. I don't buy it, but I've seen candidates say some things about people popping up from like under a tunnel or something like that. I don't buy that either way. It's much easier and makes much more sense to be like, hey, he was on the roof. They told him to go on the roof. He may even had a gun, but there was someone else under him or around him also elevated that took the shot. I think that's what happened. So that's my opinion, pure speculation, but based off my decent wealth of experience shooting and understanding these things, I had people were Americans. I had people that were Americans say, you know, like, that shot's not that hard to make. I could make that shot. Sure, theoretically, if you spent a lot of time at the gun range and you were practiced, sure, you can make that shot. 200 yards is not that bad. I've killed plenty of deer at that range. But you have to understand, this is like the most high-stress situation ever. This guy doesn't have a record of range time, a record of shooting. He just shows up to like a giant political event. He's assassinating a giant political figure, and he's got the nerves of steel to do the job and to shoot him right in the neck. I don't buy it. I couldn't make that shot under those conditions. Absolutely not. I would panic and freak out.
Yeah, so much pressure.
Right.
So you don't believe that? Do you believe Tyler Robinson is the guy?
I think he was up on that roof. I don't know if he's the shooter. I think he's a patsy. I think he's someone that they create the narrative around. It's just like, why haven't we seen interviews of his roommate? Why haven't we seen interviews of all the people that were saying Charlie was going to die on that day? There's something very weird about this. And the thing is, it's just like the Trump assassination. We don't know anything about Thomas Crooks. We don't know anything about the other guy. It's just like, oh, just forget about it. It goes away. It's not normal stuff to happen, guys. It's very abnormal. It's very suspect to see things like this go down. But
so a lot of people are saying, hey, they are covering it up. But then a lot of people are arguing with Candace Owen with the way she's been doing. We got pastors coming out saying, hey, Candace, please just be quiet. And we got a lot of people who are coming out and be like, it's not the Jews. And then now that obviously if we get Bibi Netanyahu going to so many TV, appearing to a lot of TV station, claiming about the letter which had to be released. Now we find out like, whoa, what the heck? Then claiming that Israel was not a part of it. Then we learned that Charlie KIRK was going through this donation, with the sponsors and stuff that they needed.
With the big donors, and this seems to be confirmed now.
Which has been confirmed. You just said, right?
It seems to have been confirmed. Candace posted a screenshot of text messages where he's openly talking about it, and I mean, you're talking about getting your pantsuit off. You're talking about losing your career and losing everything forever. You post something like that, it's not real, you're screwed. So I believe it. So I do believe that.
So
on a tenuous basis.
Yeah, you have to be nuts for her in her position with how much wealth she has and how much things she could lose for her to post a fake picture. So if this was to come out fake, I think she'll be... Yeah, it'll be the worst. Like, it'll be the stupid mistake that she'll ever make, ever. So I honestly think she's on the right point of her career here. She just needs to keep on pressing. But whatever she's pressing on, whatever she'll reveal will be dangerous for everybody. Like, because the truth will hurt a lot of people. What do you think the truth might be? It's like, because we're going towards direction where a turning point might be involved. We're going to the direction where, Israel, the Jews, they might be involved. That's where the direction is. That's where we're going. And the question is that what we're going to find? Because we could go that direction and find out, oh, man, all this is just conspiracy theory. None of this is true. I hope so. But seem like a lot of, as we're going along, a lot of things have been proven correct. What do you think, Rex?
I think the truth will come out. I don't know if it'll be years or decades into the future. The cool thing about being young like we are is hopefully we'll get to see some of this come out, right? So. But I don't have an official view on it yet because I just don't know. I don't believe the official narrative. But that's basically all I have to say on that. I have to wrap pretty soon. I have to go watch the show. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And where can people find you, bro?
Yeah, if you want to go give me a follow over on Rex Jones News on Twitter, if you want to go follow me there and then see what I'm doing, see what I'm up to. I've got a show with a co-host, Tim Tompkins, called The Gray Area, and you can find that on YouTube and Rumble. It's also linked in my profile. If you want to see more of me and see more of what I'm talking about, just follow me there. But I'm sure we'll do more shows together. I always love coming on with you, man. You're a great guy.
Appreciate you, bro. I would love to come on your show as well. It's going to be great to talk to you guys. But it's been amazing having you on. I can't wait to see what the revelation will be today with InfoWars. I'll be watching. I'll be cheering and rooting
I'll
for your
keep you
dad.
updated with the inside scoop. I'll DM you.
Yeah, let me know. But thank you so much for having me, for coming on the show. And it'll be good to have you on the next few days to come. But yeah, have a lovely day,
No,
sir.
I'll come on soon. We'll come on again this week. Thank you for your time, man. I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Bye. So there you go. That's Rex Jones, today's guest. What a guy. Young, out there, knows a lot for his age, done a lot, seen a lot, experienced a lot, and it's great to see him on the show. We're going to get many other people on the show today. Not today, but this week for sure. We got a good line of guests lined up for you guys. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the broadcast everywhere. Make sure you share it to a friend, auntie, sisters, brothers, and all the group chat that you're in. Tell them, hey, the Baraka Show is live and active. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much. For those people who have just tuned in, hey, that's Rex Jones with the at the Baraka Show, your front line of information. And now I'm gonna sign off. I'll see you on the other side. We'll see if I'm able to get well. As you already know, I'm sick today. I'm really sick. I think you probably could tell with my voice. But I made a live stream earlier on telling you how sick I was, asking you guys to pray for me. And I think I'm feeling a little bit better. That's why we're able to conduct this podcast with Rex Jones. But yeah, I hope I get well. I know I will get well, but it's just a matter of time. I think I have plenty of time. I'm young, man. Why am I in a rush? It's a punishment. It's a punishment from God. I hope I'm learning the lesson. But thank you so much for watching today. And without further ado, hand to the head salute. I'll see you maybe tomorrow. I got a good guest, lovely guest. I want to have him on. This guy is the guy for tomorrow's live stream. Is the guy. We're going to talk about digital ID. He's the front line of the fighting digital ID out there. He's out there. He has a company. He has a whole institution just fighting tyranny. Just fighting the government for what they do that are not right for the people. So, he's coming on tomorrow. I'm really excited for it. So brace yourself for an impact. Either it's going to be a live stream or it might be just a podcast, which will be posted. Hopefully, if the team is active and quick, we can get it out tomorrow. But thank you so much for tuning in today. Without further ado, hand to the head salute. This is the Baraka Show, your front line of information war, and I'm signing out. Thank you so much.
To every single one of you who has walked this road with us, not just the easy win, but the tough, heavy storm. I want to reach out my hand to you, sir, and say thank you so much. Thank you so much, missus, because you didn't just fund a platform. You didn't just support creator. You stood for something sacred, something real. The idea that truth should never be owned by the politicians, by the elites. So thank you so much. Because we're living in a world where headlines are shaped by propagandists. We're living in a world where narratives are created by a politician's agenda. So staying true and telling you the honest truth isn't just hard anymore. It's becoming radical. And we've never taken a penny from any corporation or political party, because we understand that journalism should never be funded by the elites, should never be funded by politicians. Journalists should only be accountable to the people they serve, not the people that they meant to question. But staying independent comes with a lot of cost. It means no more access, no access to fancy meetings, no access to big donors. So we're choosing integrity. We're choosing morals, and we're choosing to put stories in front. And trust me, that's a cost I'm willing to take. That's why we need you, not just as donors, but as people, as defender of truth. As people that believe that truth isn't a luxury, it's a right. It's a right that every single person in the country deserves to get. And if you've been watching the mainstream media lately, I'm sure you've felt a quiet rage when you see a story being told in a different way, when you see the truth being twisted, when you see suffering being ignored, when you see the powerful few rewrite history and take over narrative and rewrite reality. And now this is the moment that stops. Every single contribution that you make to this channel is a refusal to be manipulated. It's a stand against distortion. And if you believe that journalism should be factual, if you believe that journalism should be unbiased, then this is your time for you to stand with us. Donate right now and build this movement with us. Be the reason why the truth survives in this country. Thank you so much.